It was great. Green Bay is full of kind and generous people, and they have great Midwest values. It was a blue-collar community and very down-to-earth. I grew up in a suburb in Alloway, and it was a wonderful place for families, had a low cost of living, and was very safe. It's always been growing and changing, so I never felt stifled. I had many opportunities to do things, and it was full of access to great outdoor activities. I love going to Door County and up north. And of course, we had the Packers, so anywhere I went, people knew where Green Bay was. Yes, many challenges, but I also believe that being a woman, especially back when a time when women weren't getting college degrees and working full time, was also an asset. Neither of my parents went to college, and I was determined to go, but I was the oldest of 8 kids, so my parents couldn't afford to send me. I applied and got in at UWGB, and I worked 3 jobs during college, but I lucked out when Procter & Gamble decided one year to run an experiment and had 6 college-age women work in the mill one summer with the 1,700 men to see if women could work in the mill. It was a carryover from World War II that they didn't have women working there. And so I put my summer in at the mill, and guess what? The 6 women were successful, and after that, Procter & Gamble hired women to work full-time in the mill, and the 6 college women were given the opportunity to go back every summer and in January interim and work. So I made great money that helped me get out of college pretty debt-free. I got my degree in accounting at a time when there are not many women in the field, and then I graduated in the 74-75 recession, so jobs were not easy to find. I lucked out because WPS had a late person leave, and so they had to go interview, and they actually took a chance and hired me, the first woman that ever had a college degree at WPS, and I became the WPS experiment. I knew I had to prove myself so that I did not mess it up for future generations of women coming up in the company, but I was very lucky again because the men who ran the finance organization and even the CEO, Paul Ziemer at the time, were very open-minded and willing to give me a try. And though there were challenges along the way, because I did not always think like the men, and I did not approach problems like men, and I was always willing to say what I thought. But I learned from them, and they learned from me, and it became, I guess, a great project with the 2 of us, because that's the only place I ever worked for 37 years, and then I retired. When I started working, they had to decide if I got a chair with arms or not, because up until then, the women were all clerical or secretary, didn't have arms, and the men were all mostly exempt or clerical too, but they had arms. So I got arms. And then they told me that I had to go on break with the men. And so the men were not thrilled they had to take me on break. And the women resented that I didn't go on break with them, but it all worked out. And my first few weeks there, they ran me through the usual training program that they ran all the new male hires from. And one of those things was to go work with the line crews and also to go work in the warehouse. And of course, all the trainers were men that worked there. They never had a woman do it before. So I got to break that barrier too, and they actually had a picture of me in my hard hat and my tool belt with a line crew and a line truck, and there was, for many years, that picture was up at the Action Service Center as the first woman to go through. Then I got married 2 years after working at WPS, and 6 years after that, it took me that long because I wanted to get my career established and complete my MBA. I got pregnant. So I called the HR department and I said, gee, what's the maternity leave policy for exempt people? And they said, we don't know. We've never had one before. What would you like it to be? Well, first, I subscribe to the Bible verse which says, to whom much has been given, much is expected. And I've been so blessed in my life, and I have achieved much more than I ever expected. So I feel I need to give back. And second, I love Green Bay and all the opportunities given me and all the ways that this community has shaped who I am. So when I see the many needs in this community, I want to help. And I think I always get back more than I put in. Working in this community has allowed me to meet great people, build lifelong relationships and friendships, and has taught me so many things that I've used both back in my job and with my family life. And so finally, I feel good when I help various nonprofit organizations by sharing my time, talent, and treasure. I actually had something that was called Diane's 10 Rules for Success up in my office for years. And those rules are: life is about relationships, an ounce of determination is worth a pound of good intentions, attitude is more important than you think, we're all part of a larger system, never stop learning, only by taking some risks will you get ahead, you need to take responsibility for your actions, what you do today will make a difference tomorrow, celebrate success and never forget to say thank you, and take time to laugh, especially at yourself. And if I had a chance, the couple I would add would be: always be ready for change and believe in yourself and what you have to offer. I think women often question their capabilities, especially when it comes to believing in what they can do, but they have those wonderfully natural leadership skills that are so important in this world that are called emotional intelligence. And I think they're good at building relationships and working with people and sharing success and all those things I said. So they need to take advantage of that. Well, the artifact I selected was the candy dish I had in my office. Having chocolate on hand really summed up how I felt about working with people. I always had a ready supply of chocolate on hand for people to eat when they were stressed. So people had an excuse to come and see me when they wanted to talk, and to always thank them for a job well done. It made me seem approachable, empathetic, and appreciative. And throughout the years, I delivered large basket of chocolates to all areas in 4 states. I was the Wicked Witch at Easter, the Easter Bunny, Saint Nick, and at Christmas, I got everyone a small gift and a card and some chocolate in an individual bag. No small feat for over 100 people. I sent a handwritten birthday card to everyone each year for their birthday. I wanted people to know that I cared about them, I appreciated them, and that a lot of my success was due to what they were doing.